Hello, welcome back. As you can see, I'm here in nature once again. The wind blowing on the trees, warm, a little bit muggy, slightly uncomfortable, but that's okay, that's what it is. In this video, I wanted to talk about how to deal with anger. Anger comes over you sometimes like a storm, like a lightning bolt, even. Sudden, powerful, overwhelming, sometimes scary, depending on how close it is. When it comes over you in this way, you can be lost minutes, hours, days. You can carry that anger for most or all of your life if it sits there unobserved. It's silly how something so invisible, something so sudden can make such a powerful shift in your state of being. 1 minute you're fine, and then next minute something happens, your inner world is shattered, and this new part of you, or an old part of you, bursts forth with such power, such sudden eruption of energy. It's almost like if you're a surfer and sometimes you fall off the wave and you get lost in that white water, right, where you can't really go up for air and you just kind of have to ride the current, the wave, and wait. Hopefully you can take up your head for air before the next wave crashes on you. It can be a lot like that. But what to do with it? When you run from the anger, or you decide that the anger is wrong, it makes it much more difficult. It doesn't help. It actually makes it last longer. When you jump into it and you act it out and you personalize it, you may feel better, but all you're doing is you're dumping your negativity on another person, the same way you would throw out a pot of hot boiling water and then putting it back on the element without actually turning the heat off. In that way, you're hurting others and then you're hurting yourself in the long run. That element's going to burn the pan without that water in it. So what do you do with anger? Anger is like fire. It's very much like fire. It can take something like wood and transform it into smoke. Or it can transform wood into heat to keep you warm. It could keep you alive. When looked at without the problem that seems to be causing the anger, when you just look at the anger for what it is, a formation of energy. It's energy inside of you. Uncomfortable or comfortable is not the point. It's simply an energy that you're going to feel, and it has such power to it. And one of the most important things that I've learned in my life is when you see the energy, you look at it directly, you give less power or attention to the thoughts in your mind about what's going on. You let them be there. You say, that's fine, it's okay. Let it do what it's going to do. But if you pay more attention to the feeling that the anger creates in you, again, not so much the thoughts, they're going to be there. They're going to interpret. But the energy itself, it's hard to put into words, something like this. When you do this, the personal nature of the situation becomes somewhat diffused, becomes somewhat lessened, and you can see that this fire burning in you is a sort of creative force. There's two directions you can go with this energy if you decide to work on it on the level of mind. One, you can harden your opinion against the perceived cause. Or two, which is much more difficult, you can look at where you are perpetuating and continuing it. This is if you're working on the level of the mind. You know, the thoughts in your head, the words and the story. You can broaden your perspective by looking at how it makes you feel. You know it's not a nice feeling, so it's not something you want to keep going, right? Then your mind generates a story, and you see that your mind wants to accuse someone. Now, you're not accusing yourself if you choose option 2. Instead, you're finding where you're also adding. It seems like this person is making me mad, but where am I adding to this? How am I also continuing the wheel to spin? And when you look at the body, the energy itself, you'll notice that it's an icky feeling, uncomfortable if you look at it in this perspective, and you may come to the conclusion that you're not doing yourself any good. That whatever you're experiencing, regardless who's right and wrong, in the end you're not doing anything good for you or the other person, and you're just making it worse. Now, if the energy's there, this doesn't necessarily mean that the energy is going to disappear, but what can you do with it? On the level of the mind and your thoughts, you don't need to come up with a plan, but just if you focus on the fact where you're similar, you and that person or the situation, that you're not better. The fact that it's a situation you're both currently experiencing right now, you both don't enjoy it, and you're not doing anyone good. And if you rest in that, return your energy or your focus back on the energy, this energy like a fire can transform how you feel against that person into how you're similar. And almost in a sense, it's not worth it. Now, if you say it's not worth it and you, then that's option 1, you're hardening. But if you say it's not worth it in the sense that, wow, I'm hurting myself. Wow, I'm hurting this person. Is there another way? Can I let this go? Can I just allow this energy to burn up? Can I stop fueling the fire? Can I allow the fire? Because the energy is going to be there. Can I just allow the fire to burn up without adding more fuel? And sometimes you'll just have to let the fuel that's already burning, that's already on the fire, burn up. And that's fine. But the more fuel you add to the fire, the more difficult it's going to be to broaden your perspective on really what's going on and to see the bigger picture. And the bigger picture is really what will snap you out of it. It's what the power to snap you out of it. And this happens kind of the same way when all of a sudden water goes from not boiling to boiling. Well, when you go from a certain level in reverse, when you go from a certain level of anger to not anger anymore, it's almost a sudden effect. When you stop adding fuel to the fire, suddenly you just feel a shift. So the key is to bring your awareness, be aware of that energy in you. And allow the energy to be there on the level of energy. Allow it to be there. You feel it moving in you. You notice your stomach tightening, your teeth clenching. Again, don't energize, don't squeeze harder. And if you have to, that's fine. Sometimes just a really big can be equivalent to blowing on the fire and making it burn out faster. Oftentimes that'll help. Don't direct it to a person. Punch a pillow, scream. If you really can, if you're at that point, just let it out that way. That's fine. Bring your energy back. Your attention is the key. Bring your attention back to the feeling inside of you. Allow it to burn up. Express it if you feel the need to. Again, nothing is wrong. Just do your best not to express it against someone or harden into a position that you can fight from. Bring awareness to the inner state of your being and allow the fire to burn. Surrender to the fires of transformation within you. Thank you for watching this video, wherever you are around the world, whatever time it is that you're watching this. I appreciate you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Peace.